I think we're on. Hi guys, Missy Rivers coming to you. Hi guys, Missy Rivers coming to you. I am a psychic medium. My website is missyrivers.com. Every year I do a prophecy and prediction video for the year ahead, and this is the year. This is the video for year 2021. I've decided to do it on this platform because it's my favorite. Just saying. So those of you who have been with me for a few years now know that I'm going to jump right into it. I am a Scorpio and I do like to dig. I like to get details. I'm going to jump straight into it. In this particular video platform, I don't take comments. So if you comment and I don't say hello, please know I'm not ignoring you. I am just going to stick with the content at hand in front of me. I have 7 pages of prophecies and predictions for this year. I'm going to go through them as fast as I can because there are a lot, and I will do my best to disclose as much detail with what each of the prophecies and predictions for each topic have included, while also keeping it to the point. Okay. You can follow up with questions, of course, you're welcome to, but I will disclose as much as I possibly can as what I was shown in my visions or my scrying sessions. So what happens is, in these videos, I actually get keywords, okay, keywords for the year, like almost like a theme. And 2021 has been a big energy that's come in. Very big energy, and when I meditated on this, I'm told that it is a sister of 2020. So guys, I know everyone had their hopes up of, oh yay, 2020 can go away, and 2021 there's a lot of hope. Maybe don't place your hope on the ugly sister. Is what I'm being told. There are still energies about. Just because the clock ticked over doesn't mean that the energies have changed all that much. They have, but not all that much. They are twin energies. So one opened the door and now you've got to walk through it. So very interesting stuff coming through. Doesn't mean that it's not important energy, but you may be surprised. So let's get into it, guys. The keywords are quite a lot of them actually. The keywords for 2021 are bubble being burst, miscommunications, rage, anger, opportunity, violence, realizations, great change over years, technological surprises, transformation, media push-pulls, struggles, censoring, out of this world, spiritual, explosive energy, truth, freedom, flexibility, tug of war, volatile, earthquakes, wow moments, natural medicines, impact, and trade wars. Okay, so that's actually what I have for the majority of the energy. That's actually a lot more in terms of a theme than I normally get, but that being said, it is a bigger energy than I normally get for each of the years. So we've been building up from 2016 to a very a bubbling over point, and we're right in the crux of that at the moment. So interesting times ahead. So guys, we're going to proceed. I do these videos every year, and if you missed the 2020 video that was done in the beginning of 2020, please go back and watch that. I will be doing a video of predictions revealed on this weekend coming, about what came true in 2020 and what didn't, and just unpacking that a little bit. So I know you guys are wanting the follow-up basically. So the 2020, let's jump into it. In this video we're going to look at technology, we're going to look at internet, we're going to look at international affairs, we're going to look at country by country, natural disasters, weather patterns, we're going to look at the Vatican City and the Pope, we're going to look at the royals, we're going to look at the United States, we're going to look at Trump. He gets his own category, of course. We're going to look at space, aliens. We're going to look at media and some new trends that are coming through, the stock market, digital money, or cryptocurrency. I knew it would come to me. Some different energies in terms of battles, wars, and tensions within and outside of certain countries. Natural resources, and we're going to talk about the coronavirus, of course, trading in and out of certain countries, and discoveries and science. So that's what we're going to work with today. Let's get into it. If you don't know me, I am Missy Rivers, and I am a psychic medium based in Australia, but servicing clients worldwide. You can contact me for private sessions on missyrivers.com. So in 2021, we're moving into a big energy. The first, what we've got going to tackle today is technology. So there's going to be a big push for further development of sustainable technologies more than ever before. Okay, big sales because of the supply and the demand of generators, camping items, water storage and filtration systems, four-wheel drives and all-wheel drives, like really all-terrain kind of vehicles, or things that will adapt those kind of vehicles to be more adaptable for all-terrain areas and use, and survival kits. Things along those lines are going to be really studied, advanced. Money is going to be put into those areas of technology. How can we make it better? How can we make their water filtration system? How can we make the generating for the solar energy or the camping battery or whatever? It's going to be an everyday thing. Not just people who like to go forward driving or camping are going to have these items. They're going to be a very stock standard for every household. So this is the beginning of that, and more money is going to be put into the science and development of those things, because that's going to be a hot topic bubbling this year, but into the next couple of years. But this year is where it really kicks off. Okay, holographic technology. Holographic technology will really take off this year. A very interesting energy of where FaceTime was 10 years ago is where holographic energy begins this year. So a technology, I should say, holographic technology, and they're going to be used for calls, messages, video share, and even adult entertainment. I'm seeing this almost trial run around the adult entertainment. If that's your game, it's totally fine. But holographic technology is going to take off. It's in its infancy and it's going to continue. So we look at, if you think about where FaceTime was 10 years ago, no one did FaceTime. What do you mean FaceTime? So it was more like on the computer, but now these days you have your phone and you FaceTime rather than an actual phone call. Very few people actually phone call these days. It's going to be that kind of deal. So holographic technology will really take off. Internet use and access will be very interesting to watch this year. Internet use and access from two sides, from the user and the controller, whatever the controller is, okay? Whether it's a media platform, whether it's just the internet and it's someone's controlling it or patrolling it, censoring. So internet use and access will, with the content, plays a big part this year. Calls for a code of conduct, both for the users and the patrons and the controllers. Okay, there is going to be a blanket code of conduct or code of ethics being put on the World Wide Web for a lot of the platforms, if not all of them. In particular, social media platforms, and then it's going to be tweaked for the individual platforms, so things like Facebook, YouTube. I'm not that hip to know more of them, but TikTok, all of those things. So it's going to be a blanket and then tweaked as per their need, because there's going to be a push-pull energy for the people using those kind of platforms of being censored and being cut off and only being limited and being warned about what they can and cannot say. So there's a big issue with the censoring. People are not okay with this. So there's going to be a push-pull energy. And then there's going to be coming in perhaps a legal matter, or there's just going to be a blanket. We're going to split the difference. You guys keep using our software and we will allow you to say this, this, and this, and we'll split the difference. So there's going to be a discussion and an agreement made, I think, in a code of conduct form for the internet use and access. On the back of this prediction, I also have YouTube in a legal battle, or at least a legal discussion. So YouTube in a legal battle as a result of over censorship and free speech limitations, linked with the above prediction. So I wrote that down, so linked with the previous prediction. So really people not liking being censored. And as a result of their legal connection, their stocks may take a hit. Okay, so their stocks really may take a hit. But they are going to split the difference and come to some form of an agreement that's agreeable to its users. Okay, internationally, many countries will be flexing their muscles this year with tensions internationally running high, especially around March, April in 2021. Tensions will grow between China and Japan about borders and accessibility and boundaries. Japan is going to be standing firm. Tensions and talks between China and Russia over what was meant to be a collaboration of some form of project, but really kind of leaves a sour taste in both of their mouths. So they may call it quits, or they may come to a stalemate and have a bit of an arm wrestling match, a metaphorical arm wrestling match, but tensions and talks between China and Russia over what was meant to be something they could collaborate over. That's what I'm getting. China will have some major political changes and display of weapons. So I saw a display of weapons on parade, many military drills being shown, global demonstrations, and really broadcast to the world. So the streets of China, some main streets of China will be stocked with the army on parade. There'll be lots of drills, and there'll be, perhaps large weapons or new missiles or some kind of rockets, some real heavy machinery being paraded down the street. I think it's going to be an attempt to intimidate global society on the back of some trade matters that's happening. But they're looking to flex their muscles this year. Okay, China will be talking to North Korea about a possible trade opportunity. I'm not sure if that's going to get off or not. I'm seeing a stalemate, a stop-start energy happening there, but there will be talks between China and North Korea about a trade opportunity. Russia, there will be a major attempt on Putin's life, on Vladimir Putin's life. So there's two parts of this prediction. There will be a major attempt on his life that will be quite significant, perhaps make global news, but in my vision, I actually saw this person or this orchestration or on Putin's life may be so successful, not successful in taking his life, but successful in, getting so close to Putin, there may actually be physically a tussle. So Putin may actually have to physically defend himself, like, hey man, get off me. I think whoever's going to be getting that close to him is going to be worse for wear. I think Putin's going to sort this person out, and then his team comes in. But there is going to be a major attempt on Putin's life this year, possibly a physical tussle between him and someone else. South Africa, there is going to be some unrest linked with political tensions and changes, an energy not as bad, but a similar vein to the apartheid. Okay, in Australia, Australia is going to be acting and becoming more of a silo energy. Okay, we are an island. I'm in Australia now. We are an island, and it feels like the energetic ripples from the COVID isolation is going to increase that energy. So I'm seeing Australia, self-running country, investing more in the local farm, sustainable energy, really investing back into its own country to make sure that we're not dependent so heavily on other countries for trading and other sort of things. So I'm seeing Scott Morrison pushing something onto the public, then after a poorly received reaction by the public, makes it highly encouraged but not mandatory. I'm going to talk about the Pope and Vatican. Now, read the subtext of this, because it's the best way I can describe it. The Pope and Vatican, I feel like there has been discussions behind the scenes over there, and there's going to be almost like an outreach project or program, like a recruitment campaign. I feel like they're really wanting to revitalize and re-energize the Catholic faith. They're wanting to have people believe in their faith again. They're wanting to have people come to Mass, and I feel like the numbers have dwindled, and they're really feeling that. And I feel like they're really wanting to preach and really hold tight to the younger generations and really get them engaged with their religion. Neither here nor there for me, but that's what I'm seeing. I'm almost like a recruitment campaign. So if you see them making more effort and making more inclusions to the younger generations, they're trying to reach out and reach a wider demographic, in particular the younger generations, to spread their faith, the Pope and the Vatican, sharing their faith with the world on a higher scale. So we're moving into the natural elements now. Okay, so hang on to your socks, guys, because I don't say any of this to shock you, to worry you, to scare you, but I do what I do to help and empower. If I can prepare anyone to have the heads up for certain things in the year to come, then I've done my job. So but life isn't always cherries and butterflies. Sometimes we have to take the good and the bad, and there's always a silver lining. So what I'm about to say is the heavier part of the heavier part of the video. So hang on to your socks, but it's all going to be okay. The natural elements, I'm going to talk about earthquakes now and say the countries that I'm seeing big earthquakes significant enough. There's going to be earthquakes all around the world this year. The earth crust and its insides are actually really quite volatile and moving quite a lot at the moment and in this year, but there's going to be some big ones that shake up certain countries. These are the countries that you need to be aware of for earthquakes: Tibet, Nepal, Japan, Egypt, China, India, United States, specifically around the Californian and possibly Indianan states, Chile, Brazil, Australia, Iraq and Iran, I think on the border, and then New Zealand, I think the South Island. Volcanoes. There's going to be a volcano eruption in South America, United States, Indonesia, and Russia. There was another one that came through in my meditation, but I didn't have a name that came through for it, but it seemed to me like it was an island in maybe French Polynesia, or a very small island. It wouldn't make international news, but it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Okay. So I have some floods. Now, last year in 2020, I predicted that Spain would flood, and it did quite significantly, like once in a lifetime kind of flood. So take these with a grain of salt. I mean, I'm not infallible with my predictions, but I do want to say 99% of my predictions have been coming true. So if you have family in these areas, or if you're going to these areas, this is just that heads up that may just help you in your plans and in your safety, okay? So just be really aware of your choices and what feels right for you. You know, make an agreement with your body and make sure that you are at the right place at the right time to be really safe, okay? Keep living your life. So for the floods, having Spain again, which is really sad, Japan, China, the Congo, okay, I think it's Republic of Congo, Philippines, Mexico, and the bottom of United States, so that where that border is, Italy, Brazil, Australia. I think that Tuscany in Italy area is going to be one area to watch this year in terms of natural disasters, perhaps more than one type of natural disaster for Italy this year. Okay. There's going to be some freak storms this year around the globe. So the weather is going to be very, very unpredictable, more than we've ever seen before this year. It's going to be very interesting to watch, but you need to be safe and don't underestimate Mother Nature, okay? So when I say storms, they showed me big storms, like electrical storms. They showed me sinkholes and dust storms and sandstorms. So some dust and sandstorms, like I'm hearing the freak, like it's a freak storm, you know, it's a freak dust storm and sandstorm. It's amazing. We've never had one of these before. Areas to watch with storms: Oklahoma, Tucson, Louisiana and Kentucky, and there may be some form of snow or flood storm near Wisconsin in the United States of America, possibly a hurricane, but I think it's a snowstorm and floods. Okay. Mudslides and sinkholes, okay, a major sinkhole in South America, and when I say major, I mean major roads, houses, the size that big, really big. Where if you looked at it from a helicopter's perspective, it would look like a massive meteor has hit the earth. So big sinkholes happening. And I think a few in the Middle East as well. They'll get a little bit less coverage than the South America. So I'm talking about Brazil and Chile, but South America in general for the sinkholes. China, this is for the mudslides as well, by the way, guys. So China, the Middle East, the Brazil and Chile for the mudslides, and Vietnam and Zimbabwe have some issues this year. All of these areas that have the mudslides and the sinkholes, I was told collectively would also have issues with clean and accessible water as a result of these matters happening. Okay, so just being aware of that. There's going to be some turmoil continuing in Venezuela, and that is also going to affect its value in money, in its currency, but also the quality of water and accessibility of water in Venezuela is going to be a questionable thing this year. If you have any family or you're headed there, please keep that in your mind. There's going to be some things happening with solar flares, okay, with the sun. The sun's doing an amazing job this year, and it has in the last couple of years, the last 5, 6, but it's just stepping it up a notch yet again. So I've got some electromagnetic pulses affecting our technology, but also the flora and fauna on the earth. So that means, you know, us, we are animals, but I'm also getting that it's going to be affecting gardens and farms and produce, but our technology in particular, it's going to be affecting mobile phone network and our digital credit cards, our plastic, the chip, also the 5G networks will be affected by them. So just keep that in mind. Not everything that's digital is fail-safe. A simple flare from the sun is going to really affect us more than people would understand. Okay, so keeping that in mind. There are hotspots for the month, but generally as a year, there are solar flares and EMF, electromagnetic pulses and frequencies affecting our technology and our flora and fauna. So gamma waves from solar flares and other planets will also be playing a part in this as well. So other planets as well. So this is exciting because I'm seeing underwater farms taking off properly. I'm really excited about this. They're really going to play with this a little bit more, but it's going to be the first underwater farm. This is not going to be just a test pilot. It's actually going to be, hey, we're producing and we're actually selling. There's going to be restaurants that actually buy produce specifically from the underwater farm and serve it to their customers. So it's actually going to become a real thing, like in full-fledged society. So really, it's really exciting, very novel. It's very cool. I love new things. So Russia is finding or making an underground water source for its use in the future. I cannot stress this enough. You need to watch Russia in everything that it does. Its political movements, its economic movements. If Russia does something, I have always been told if Russia does something, and especially under Putin, if Vladimir Putin does something, what does he know? He is an unbelievably intelligent man. I'm neither here nor there for politics. I know nothing about this man other than what I'm shown in my visions, and I'm telling you now, if he does something, that is a big indication on what is to come, okay? So Russia will be finding or making an underground water source for its future use as a country. And I'm seeing some jealous energy coming through from other countries like, oh, that's crappy. I wish we had some of that. Wish we had that. So something maybe special about that water that they find or they create. Okay, Botswana, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, in Africa. They're going to have a natural resource shortage, causing a global need and a call for support from the global community and other countries. So a massive amount of natural resource shortage, so for its people. This is also going to cause some internal conflict and some struggles, perhaps some civil wars and unrest and tensions within its societies and people. So I actually feel that Harry and Meghan are actually going to start to help that situation when it becomes on their radar. They're watching it carefully. Either they make a new charity to help it out, or they're going to organise a reality TV show in order to generate some funds and support for that country that's so dear to them. Okay, we're going to jump to all round, and we're going to go from topic to topic now, not necessarily in one theme here. So what I'm about to say to you guys, I'm going to say it quickly, and I'm going to say it just trying to get through it, because last year when I did my prediction video, I had images come through for some terrorist attacks, and I spoke about that, and I ended up really crying in that video, and I don't want to do that this year. So just because I don't cry does not mean I don't care about what I'm about to say. I've already had many cries about this when I saw the vision, and I wrote it down. Every time it comes to my mind, it absolutely breaks my heart. So I want you to know when I'm about to say this, it doesn't limit my care and empathy. I really hope, really hope I'm wrong with what I'm about to say about the terrorist attacks in the world that's coming up this year. This is what I have for you. This is what I've been shown by the guides, and I do trust my guides. Okay, so there's going to be some terrorist attacks, or at least plots that will be foiled and caught in time. But I'm seeing terrorism energy around France, Germany, London, Peru. There's going to be perhaps either a hostage situation or something about the Colosseum. It came up to me. There's going to be a shooting in New York. I feel like the shooting in New York is going to be directly related to a hate crime to do with a Muslim temple or structure that is not well received by a person or by a group. Texas also has a shooting. Now, the gun laws are going to be looked at and tightened very much in the United States this year because of a major terrorist shooting incident that is going to involve young children of a very young age. So primary school, daycare, elementary school age. This is not going to be a high school. This is going to be perhaps a park, perhaps somewhere where it I don't want to cry. That is going to be in the United States of America, and then gun laws are going to be looked at and tightened. There looks to me as though, in terms of a terrorist attack, there may be a bombing or attempted bombing at an airport or at a main gathering point in a strange place. When I say strange place, to me, like Madagascar is a strange place. So somewhere that you wouldn't necessarily... Sorry, guys. That really breaks my heart. I really tried not to cry. A strange place to me would be Madagascar. So somewhere where it doesn't roll off the tongue quite easily, somewhere we wouldn't typically think. It's not like London or New York or LA. It's somewhere that's a bit, no, it wouldn't be my first thinking. It's very odd. It doesn't make the news all the time. It's not a main city or a main place. So an attempt at bombing or at an airport or a really weird place like that. Really great news that a Canadian forest or bushland will be moved into either further into protection or have finally get a national park status for protection, which is very exciting. I really like that. Water contamination, widespread water contamination in a country that is used to having access to clean and accessible water. This is going to be a big issue. The government of that country and other countries are going to have to step in and help the people for that issue. Virgin Airlines, beginning of the end this year. They're not going to go out this year, but this is going to be the beginning of the end of a 7 to 10 year cycle. I am going to put it back into my next decade's predictions, but this year is going to mark the changeover energy for Virgin Airlines. I think within the next 7 to 10 years, Virgin Airlines are going to be declaring bankruptcy, but it's because of what happened last year and this year, and some changes that have happened behind the scenes for Virgin Airlines, but that's what I'm having here. I don't think it's being spoken about or being disclosed too much. They're really trying to tread water and see how they go, but some changes have happened behind the scenes that I don't think are being made public. Okay, survival reality show. All right, if this does not happen in 2021, it is going to happen very soon, okay? Survival reality show. It's amusing to me, but it's kind of messed up. Okay, so it's actually kind of what I was shown is Hunger Games meets Survivor, and it's almost like a MacGyver reality show where contestants, there's like 12 or 24 contestants, they're all given one little pack, tiny little pack of little MacGyver pack survival kit, a flint or whatever they have, with just their their shoes, socks and shirt off their back. They're dropped to an island. There's cameras all over the island. They're dropped on the island and they have to undergo certain tasks or make allies and then reach certain milestones in this reality TV show. no hurting each other, but just being really strategic and surviving the elements without being seen by other contestants. And then people at home can kind of vote or watch that. So it was almost like Hunger Games in the G version of Hunger Games meets Survivor as a reality show. If not this year, I think in the next couple of years it'll happen. So really weird message. I know I can't control what I get shown. There's going to be a highlight and a lot of eyes looking at the Amish community in the world, but in particular America, the United States of America. So Amish community will be on global news, in particular talking about their life skills and their way of life, almost using that community and that way of life and those beautiful people as a way of, well, maybe they have skills we can learn. Why can't we interview them or learn what they're doing so we can take their knowledge and, put it back into our own lives? Because maybe in Western society, in day-to-day, average person is a little bit detached. So the Amish community is going to play a big role in global news this year in 2021. Okay. So there's going to be some civil unrest in certain countries, perhaps forming civil wars. Now, civil wars in the 21st century does not necessarily mean there is North and South and we're all in uniforms and, we're going to get them Yankees. It doesn't necessarily mean that, guys. It means there is a tumultuous energy, a volatile energy. There doesn't have to always be one side on a battlefield and another side on a battlefield, and then they run and charge and see who wins, red and white coats, blue and red coats. It doesn't mean that. Wars and tensions play out very differently in a modern day society. So when I say civil war, it doesn't not necessarily mean that the country is going to be fighting North versus South. It means that it's imploding. The countries that I'm about to mention are going into civil war energy, and they're going to be imploding because the people are not okay with certain things that are happening, and the tensions will build up so much and bubble, it's going to explode, and it has to somehow, for the issue itself to resolve. For better or for worse, that's what I'm getting. So the civil war energies for the countries will be in the United States of America, China, South Africa, Congo, Iraq and Iran. Saudi Arabia benefits from the battle in Iraq and Iran, and I feel like they may have a strategy behind the, like, throw fuel on the fire for Iran and Iraq. They're benefiting it from for some reason. And Zimbabwe. Okay. Now, over to Trump. On the 20th of January 2021, it is going to be a big day. Globally is going to be a big day. The 20th of January 2021, you will ask yourself, where was I that day? Where were my kids that day? Because it is going to be a big energy. Something is going to happen on this day. I'm aware it's already booked in for the inauguration, I've been told, but something is going to happen on that day, an explosive event. There could be some challenges between Trump and Biden. Trump's not going to go easily. There's some form of him becoming very powerful. But is it a power behind the scenes? Is it still president? I don't know, but he is not going quietly. There is a second attempt from Trump to attempt at power, at gaining power. And this day, on the 20th of January 2021, will be a day that the world will never forget. Joe Biden, coming into whatever position he's about to come into, he is not a well man. He is physically not well. He's already on multiple medications. He is falling ill. He has issues with his nervous system, possibly in conjunction with Parkinson's and a heart valve issue. So I'm getting that he's not going to be seeing out his full term as desired, and there will be a vice president step up. Perhaps United States of America gets their first female president. 2021 on January on the 20th, there could be an assassination attempt on Trump or Biden. It'll be a big day to watch. Okay. there is going to be an outbreak of HIV of HIV. There's going to be an outbreak of HIV, AIDS around the world, but in particular surging back up into African countries that had previously got it under control. So there will be attention paid to that and making sure that that is put under control as soon as possible and calming that down again. This year is going to be a year of scandals coming out globally. You're going to be very, very shocked and really surprised about what comes out, about who and when. Okay, the onion is being peeled and there's no going back with what's going to be revealed to the world, to the people of a country, to all of the above. Scandals are coming out and you're going to be very, very surprised. There is going to be a really awesome space plane announced, almost a stealth space plane into Earth. It can go into Earth's atmosphere but also into space. This is going to be an unmanned drone spacecraft, and its metals are going to be a combination of many metals fused and forced into a high heat. I don't know how they do it, but it's going to be really special space metal that they formed and they've been working on. Very, very hardy, very stealth-like, very sleek looking. Digital money, aka cryptocurrency. There's going to be a shutdown crisis in a non-English speaking country that calls into question the cashless versus cryptocurrency. So it's a country that has tried to or has almost gone completely cashless. They're going to have issues here, perhaps linked to the solar flares or perhaps linked to something else, but there's going to be a crisis in this country that I feel like is in the European area. There's going to be causing major issues with getting people food, medicine, all of those really essential items, because something is stopping their currency from being transferred. So technology may go down or they may have a natural disaster, but they don't have any systems that take cash anymore. So the government's going to have to really step in quite quickly. I'm seeing 2 or 3 days of a country, not an English speaking background, that have major issues due to the cryptocurrency going down, and they don't know what to do because they're gone pretty cashless. Okay. Study of water. I don't know which country or who's doing this, but this is very exciting to me. But the study of water has become a hot topic, and it's going to be continuing into the late part of this year. So study of water, they're studying the cell memory and the reproduction, and really getting to know the different types of water and how it holds energy, how water in itself is its own entity and energy source. And they're going to be looking at how the man-made water versus the natural water and how they hold energy in a very different way. It's going to be a really interesting study. It may bore a lot of people, but it's actually a really life-changing study. So when it comes out, when it gets released, make sure you get onto that. Guys, I'm not saying anything to scare you, of course, but just to prepare you, because I think that information is power and it can be empowering, and I am here to empower your future. Okay. This is going to be a second pandemic declared this decade, so hang on to your socks, get your immune system up, get your hygiene practices going really well. I'm seeing that the coronavirus calming down at the end of 2022 into 2023 for about 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years. And then in 2027, a second pandemic is declared, and it's going to be worse than the one we have currently been in. So just a heads up there. So go back to finding your joy, live your life as best you possibly can while being sensible. Okay. Disclosure of alien technology will come out by Trump. I think that Trump's going to be dropping this into a conversation, in a media release, but it's not planned. This is on just dropping it in like a mic drop just while I was in the presidency. And it's like a last attempt to gain attention. It's a last attempt to really put the spotlight back on him. I want to say though, I'm not getting that he's lying. He's not going to be taken seriously, but Trump discloses alien technology. You need to listen. Okay, there's going to be some information coming through our collections or information about Saturn's dust and elements, the particles and elements being really investigated about the dust on Saturn's rings. Neptune and Pluto, there's going to be sort of advances about the studies of those two planets. I know Pluto's technically not a planet, but I want to call it a planet because I feel bad for it. It can't be left out. So Neptune and Pluto will have some advances on it in terms of technology and getting more information about that. Lots of information there coming through. Really exploring those two a lot more. Big news will come through about Mars and a new colony, and in terms of the sustainability of life on Mars and leaps and bounds in that area. So Mars is going to play a big part in the world this year. There's going to be a discovery, an Incan discovery of a fossil bone or skeleton, something really significant that's connected to an alien technology or an alien inspired technology from an ancient culture related to the Incans. That was very muddled when I got it, but it's going to be found somewhere and then it's going to be returned to its original location, or perhaps close to near a museum, but it's going to be protected and brought back home, is what I was told. In America, the United States of America, the Midwest farmers, more specifically the corn farmers, some corn farmers, are going to all collectively hear a big bang in the night sky some point in 2021, if not several times. But it's going to be a big flashing light and a big pop, a big bang, perhaps a flying object or perhaps it's a meteor. But there's going to be a lot of information coming out about that, perhaps some films or videos coming through to hit the global news about it. But it's going to really capture the world's attention, and there's going to be some information coming out about that. What was it? Was it a meteor? We haven't found the meteor. It changed direction. So there's going to be more talk and more discussion about alien technology, about alien life, and about UFOs. It's going to be coming more up in everyday conversation. Okay, a little bit less taboo. Okay, things that are going to go really well this year. So if you're going to invest in this, I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money, but things that I'm predicting that might do well in 2021 are things like classes, like yoga classes and wellness classes, and really connecting with people. Things that bring people closer together and connection. People are going to be focusing on their health and well-being in a really different way, looking at life in a different way. So that's really cool. So if you own a wellness center, massage clinic, a yoga or Pilates, a cooking class, that's all going to be really great opportunity to meet and support local community members and invest in. Really, it's going to be, gangbusters. Silver and gold price is going to go up. Even if it goes down a little bit, it's going to go up, going back up. The stock market crash is still coming. Okay, the stock market will look fantastic in January and February, and then it falls in March onwards. In particular, I'm seeing a recession and a depression, similar energy coming in August, September in 2021. So do with that with what you will. But that's what I have been told and what the information is coming through. There will be a final spike in February for the stock market. The confidence will be high. It looks really fantastic. It's like a really great, fantastic peak, but then it crashes. Okay, so into the middle of the year, something to watch in terms of your stock market and its global currency and economics. And the coronavirus. The coronavirus is going to form a mega strain. So 3 strains will form together. Somehow the virus morphs and moves into one main strain, and then I'm getting not multiple strains. Okay, that mega strain is going to evolve over time, just like the flu does, but this is going to be a mega strain within the next couple of years, but this is going to start at the end of this year. Cases are going to be proven that people will have 2 or 3 of the strains all at once, and that's how the mega strain will happen. Okay, so they will be playing with a vaccination in terms of how can we make a vaccination for strain A, strain B, strain C, or how can we make a overall vaccination for all of the strains to get this mega strain under control. It's not meant to scare you guys, it's just meant to inspire you to be really hygienic, be really aware, be really sensible, and get your immune system built up and make good choices for yourself and your family, okay? This is being said by the person who predicted the coronavirus would happen in the first place and how big it would be. So I'm genuinely calm and collected in terms of its future. You just need to be really mindful of your choices and what's going to be happening for you and your health choices. Okay, we are going to end on the royals. I did mention just before about Meghan and Harry and some information that they would be, perhaps involved in with Botswana this year. I don't watch the news. I don't watch any media. I had a dream not long ago about Meghan saying that she had a miscarriage and she was really sad about it. And then so guys, I will tell about the royals. Prince Charles and Camilla look like they're wanting to retire, but that's something to watch. And some really interesting stuff in terms of Harry and Meghan possibly doing a reality show. I don't know if that's been announced or not, but a reality show nonetheless, just to really engage with the community. I'm going to leave it there because I've got other matters requiring my attention. I'm going to send you lots of love. I am Missy Rivers. I'm sending you lots of love for the 2001, the year to come. Lots of blessings to you. And if you need me, I'm at missyrivers.com and on YouTube. Bye.